Hello, welcome to On the Fringe. I'm Gavin. I'm here with my good friend Dave. And
Hey
today
everybody.
we're starting things off a little PG-13. Kids, if you're listening, fingers and ears, go la 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 for the next 30 seconds. So today we're talking about how Google and the Department of Justice in America are stroking their egos all over the place, but only some Italian guy is getting screwed. This is the story of Lincoln Michele Spagnuolo, who was arrested in New York and charged with commodities fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. He is a Google employee. He's an Italian national who's resident in Switzerland. We're still not sure what the hell he was doing in New York, but he got arrested. And he's been arrested for using inside information from Google to make a couple of bets on Google's corporate policy and also bets on a notorious celebrity slash homicide suspect who almost certainly did it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just so this is Dave, this is very much in part with our longstanding series on prediction markets, Polymarket, Kalshi, the sort of legislative mess that these companies have in America at the moment, judicial mess as well, I guess, legal shenanigans. This is an interesting story. Do you just want to talk about who Michele Spagnuolo is? Because I know you've done research on the guy and how he made that money.
Yeah. So Michele Spagnuolo was a Google software engineer.
Hmm.
And this was back in 2017. He made a video, a TED Talk about how blockchain was going to was revolutionize the world. I forgot the exact wording of it, but blockchain was going to be pivotal to the
How
future of the
blockchain can
world.
revolutionize the world.
That's it.
TEDx Lake Como 8 years ago, 6.5 thousand views.
That's
And
it.
that's after he got arrested. So I can't imagine many people have seen this.
And blockchain definitely revolutionized his life because blockchain is essentially how they
He
figured
got
out that
arrested.
he was one, he set up the accounts, and two, he was sending money from Polymarket to his crypto wallets. And last year, I want to say Spagnolo, I wanted to say spaghetti, but Spagnolo was making bets about who is going to be some of Google's most searched people. And he made a very, very long bet on the rapper, musician, uh, currently incarcerated David, that David was going to be the most searched person. And he had inside information from his job at Google. He made the bet and he walked away with a cool $1.2 million from that bet and a series of other bets about people as well. So he made the bets, he made money, and found out that he was making these bets and he was arrested, as Gavin said, in New York City. And this is not the
Where
first
the
time
girls are pretty. No, it's not.
this
It's
has
not the
happened.
first time. It's not the first time this has happened. As we've covered previously on the Fringe, a gentleman by the name of Gannon Ken Van Dyke. Again, just what a name. Picked up $400,000 from betting, mostly about Venezuela and the various things that have happened there this year, which already seems like ages ago. Charged with unlawful use of confidential government information for personal gain, theft of non-public government information, commodities fraud, wire fraud, and making an unlawful monetary transaction.
That's a laundry
Um,
list.
it is. They threw the book at him. So he's not the first person, though I will say I believe he's the first person from a corporate background to be
Hmm.
charged or to be publicly charged. Previously, we talked about the cases in Israel as well. These are people who have had military backgrounds and have had access to classified information. This was not the case with Mr. Spagnuolo in the sense that he did have access to classified information, but it was corporate information. So this is, I guess, somewhat different, but it fits into the context in kind of a funny way. Um, Dave, do you just want to talk about why this specific individual was arrested?
This is all speculation here on my part,
Hmm.
but they
Hmm.
want to make an example of Spagnuolo. And I think they're looking at this, the DOJ and Google are looking at this and going, we need to crack down because essentially prediction markets are not regulated by the federal government and they're not regulated by state governments. It's a really, really big gray area right now. And I think the feds really want to ram this prosecution through to show that one, we have the capabilities to prosecute somebody that's doing or using prediction markets illegally, and two, that we're going to throw the book at them when they do. And Google is looking at this from the same perspective and going, okay, employees, anybody that follows in his footsteps, we're going to have you publicly humiliated and shamed, and you're going to spend a lot of time behind bars. So I think one, this is a poster child of what the federal government wants to do if they actually do regulate prediction markets, which is what the Trump administration specifically wants. He wants the CFTC to regulate these going forward.
Which may be somewhat difficult. Before we talk about that, another theory that has been circulating, even in a paper like the Financial Times, is that this was a show arrest of a foreign citizen to basically shoot across the bows and reassure people that they are doing something, but not necessarily to American citizens. It's almost impossible that he's the only employee of Google who's done something like this. And there does seem to be a likelihood that he was, again, this is all speculative, maybe thrown over as a sacrificial lamb, again, to give the administration someone to work with, someone to say, well, we're going to throw the book at these guys, but not an American citizen. And as someone that the good fellas at Google could no longer trust, maybe someone they didn't mind losing at this point. To go back to the CFTC for a moment, Dave. So we had previously talked about a decision coming out of the Ninth Circuit Court. What happened with that?
Well, they ruled in favor of the states. So now it's
Wow.
back. It's back to where it was,
Hmm.
back into a gray area. So back before the decision, there had been a decision in the Third Circuit Court in New Jersey where the judges sided 2-1 with Kalshi and Polymarket. So this decision in the Ninth Circuit Court just basically throws the ball up in the air again. And essentially, nobody knows where this is going to land because the feds want to regulate this, and a lot of the states are taking action to either sue the CFTC or sue Polymarket and Kalshi, or
Hmm.
in Minnesota's case, even stop people from using prediction markets.
Yes, and how any of this is enforced and what it winds up looking like is kind of anyone's guess at the moment. But, I if we were betting men, I'd bet this is going to end up before the Supreme Court sooner rather than later. It
Yeah,
just doesn't seem it doesn't seem likely that it won't.
that
Um,
should be a bet on Kalshi and Polymarket. What
it probably
regulation?
is. It probably is already. I'd be kind of shocked if it wasn't. You brought up a really good point, Dave, and I think we got to mention this before we wind things up. We're at a point where we're not talking about, Minnesota aside, I don't think nationally we're going to have the conversation about shutting them down because they're just too big. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So since these two prediction markets have really blown up in the last couple of years,
And they're not the only ones.
no, there are more, but these are the two biggest ones. So there have been 8 to 12 billion dollars with a B moving between users on Polymarket. And
Hmm.
Kalshi has had between 2 to 4 billion. So that's money moving from one user to another user on these prediction markets in the last 4 or 5 years. And there are huge spikes around championships and elections, and primarily with sports in Kalshi's case. So 90% of the bets on Kalshi are actually for sports betting. And sports betting in the US is regulated by states. There was a 2018 Supreme Court decision that pushed this. So I could see the states going, well, these are primarily for sports betting. So since they're primarily for sports betting, we get to regulate them. And it might come down to how much money is being wagered on these, or it might come down to what types of bets are being used or being made on these. But this is going to be, as Gavin was saying, a very, very long saga, and it's going to go before the Supreme Court. But
a
it's
hundred
going to
percent.
stick around, and these are going to stick around for, I'd say, for the foreseeable future and possibly into, 20, 30, 40 years down the line until something else comes along.
And every day they're around, they are shaping world events in tangible ways, and I don't think in particularly good ones. But as long as they're around and as long as this is a story, this is going to be covered here on the Fringe. And
Hmm.
we hope you guys stick around to listen to it.
We do.
Again, thank you very much. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with whoever. And we will be talking to you soon again on the Fringe.
And before we go, before I hit the button, got a small favor to ask you guys. If you are listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, please take 30 seconds and either leave a one-word comment or a thumbs up and give us a star rating if you like the podcast. It would make a huge difference to our show in terms of growth and in terms of the algorithm liking us. You guys have done a ton of work in terms of spreading the word around. We sincerely appreciate it. But if you've run out of people to share it with, then please give us a star rating and leave us a comment, and we will be incredibly grateful for your efforts. And
Yeah,
Gavin,
Dave,
it's that time, isn't
it
it?
is. It is. Dave,
Mm-hmm.
hit the button.